Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again, and we've got another video from another Glaive Keo, because he's been on a bit of a break recently, as I've talked about before in our last react to his whole Ziox video, and, well, he's finally taken the time to actually talk about Genshin 7.0. And this is one of the cool things. I've already taken a look at the thumbnail. You can go ahead and see it too. He's right. There was pretty much no quality of life at all for a 7.0 update, which is kind of wild. I had a lot of other harsh thoughts to say about this livestream as a whole, but I kind of want to see now what Glaives got to say about this one.
The Genshin Impact's version 7.0 special program just dropped a week ago, and I have a lot of opinions for it. I sat through the entire thing live on stream.
He took a long time to make this vid. Like that's the part that really stood out to me. He took kind of a long ass time to make it.
So if you want to watch it, the VOD is posted in the live section of my channel. My thoughts on it is pretty all over the place. They showed off some clean looking 3D model upgrades for the newer characters. We got an absolute cinematic orchestra that probably changed some lives out there because of how good it was. But
I skipped that.
In that very same update livestream, they gave us
Maybe that's why I wasn't so happy about it. Was I supposed to have watched it?
zero meaningful quality of life updates, and the most confusing region I have ever seen in my life, the cruel and brutal Snezhnaya, turned out to be some Candyland rainbow sprinkled ice cream kind of area. What?
Well, it's kind of been talked about as the villain region where all of the people that are killing people are from. Like you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, Lord of the Rings, right? I think in a lot of ways, the Fatui are they're a little bit similar to the Ring Wraiths, right? And so it's finding out that the Ring Wraiths from Lord of the Ring are are actually from heaven or some shit like that. It's a complete sort of I guess dismantling of all of the initial things you were told for the first 6 years of the game, because yeah, she's actually the goddess of love and stuff. Yeah, she actually loves everyone.
What is even going on? There is a lot to unpack here, from really appealing characters to the devs blatantly rage baiting us. So let's break down the good, the goofy, and everything in between from the 7.0 livestream. If you want to see more content from me, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon to keep up with my videos. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into it. Right at the beginning of the livestream, they showed off the trailer first. It was super quick, but my eyes caught it. A white-haired man, a very handsome one in my opinion, with way better hair than in-game albedo. Someone apparently named Mitya. During the live stream, I spontaneously called him
Okay, is this guy just being gay?
handsome. But right after the live stream ended, it turned out I wasn't the only one who felt that way. This
Yeah, because you're not the only gay person on the planet.
character was so beautiful that he ended up trending on Twitter. A few posts that trended were, he looks like a wizard, which is especially unique because I don't think
Nah, he's for real handsome. Okay, I mean, Sure, I get, if you were compared to every other Genshin character, sure, I guess.
we have had a Genshin character who looked like a wizard before. We have witches, but not wizard. This is kinda the best male model ever made. You know, if Albedo born in 2026, he is gonna have this kind of hair model. And I have to agree. And I'm looking at the other newer models, and I just feel like I gotta give them praise. For a really, really long time, Genshin has suffered greatly from this thing called the same face syndrome. It got bad. But recently in Not Cry, and especially now in Snezhnaya, that syndrome is basically completely gone. We obviously have to mention Pulcinella. They made a whole new model specifically for him, which
Bro is actually going on the full glaze. Holy moly. I will say, I wasn't paying particularly much attention to the models at all, because it's
genuinely surprised me. Genshin has
they're just not really high expectations to have. I mean, even for her, I feel like she just looks like Eula.
always had this issue where the 2D art looks incredible, but the moment they put out the 3D model, it looks terrible by comparison. But now, I can safely say the 3D models look pretty good. Saritsa especially looks amazing, and I've criticized Genshin about this in the past. In fact, a lot of people did. The same face syndrome was basically a meme in the Genshin community, and
I mean, I guess we can say the Saritsa does look different, but she also looks like the most generic character I've ever seen.
the overall gacha space in general, clowning on how
It's like Saritsa has same face from like other universes.
Everyone has the same exact face in the game. People would layer character faces over each other, and looking at it, I legit have to agree. They all look identical. But recently, starting from Not Cry, and especially now in Snezhnaya, I don't think that criticism applies anymore. And honestly, good for them. I love it. Yes, it took them 5 to 6 years to finally improve their models. I know a lot of you are probably already typing that in the comment section. We all know it sucks, but hey, take what you can get, right? Or at least...
Well, I think people could already start getting into the whole, like, same face argument for Lauma and Saritsa, right? I think that was, like, one of the big... Because don't they both have, like, the elf ears, too? I think this is simply just a new era of the same face, brother. Yeah, on second thought, I think it's just a new era. Yeah, bro. Nah, it's... They just did same face with... They just did same face with her. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No, that didn't help. Nah, they just did same face with her, bro. Same body, too, actually. I think they I think they have the exact, like, almost, they have the same ears and the same body, bro.
That's what I would say if they actually updated the older models. I'm happy, but not that happy, because older models suck. But Glaive, why would they do that? You're asking for way too much. Leave my multi-billion-dollar revenue nuclear reactor owning company alone. Just stop, bruh. To answer your question though, the first major reason is that it looks so unbelievably goofy. The Golden Goofy Award goes to Genshin Impact for their insanely outdated character models. And you don't have to believe me, just look at it yourself. The punching bag for this segment is Child, Tartaglia, Ajax, my first love, my husband, our husband? No, my husband, whatever you want to call him. Anyways, we are gonna talk about his 3D model and how it literally looks prehistoric compared.
I think this is sort of just the reality over here. Genshin has clearly had the potential for better models for, I think, quite a long time. And it's sort of like at the point where they use the excuse of, we want the game to run on bad hardware, so that, like, as a result, we're making the models not really, like, that high polygon, right? They're not going to look that good. And then, obviously, they decided to reel that back in by making newer models have, like, more polygons and stuff. They EOS the game on PS4, blah, blah, blah. And, well, you're not getting that reflection in quality across any of the older stuff. And so it's kind of like the end result is you use the excuse for bad models before. The excuse is now gone, but the models are still bad because you just don't want to rework the older units. But you have plenty of reasons to rework the older units because you rerun them. And you try to make money off of them again. So it's like as long as the stuff's getting rerun, you always have a reason to, like, fix the visuals at, like, the very least, right?
To everyone else. Like during that moment where they showed
and this is the thing. Wuthering Waves is one of those games where you can safely say that, yes, maybe on some of the numbers side, you wish you could see some adjustments to characters, but, like, you look at a unit like... I don't know. Like, he looks like he also could have been released in the same year as I'm just gonna be honest. He looks like he still could have been released in the same year as other characters. If this guy was like a new design that got dripped for Mangzhou, you wouldn't be like, oh, he looks like shit or he looks like garbage. I think he still actually looks like great visually. Same with a bunch of characters, actually. Like, yeah, on it, yeah, it feels like the same with a bunch of characters.
Drone, and then Arlecchino, and then they show Child. What is this guy even doing? He looks so out of place. He looks like he just got isekai'd from an entirely different game with inferior graphics. And I'm not even here to hate. I'm being dead ass. There's also that scene where they show Rick Ray.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, that is a bit rough. And I think that guy on the left's an NPC. Wait, now that you said it, you know the guy on the left is an NPC and he's got better textures.
Side by side with Tartaglia. And I mean, just look at it. Child looks like a Roblox character next to Rick Racer. It's not even close. It is sad because they don't even try. Child has been coming back in the story constantly, probably more than almost anyone else in the game. He was introduced in Liye, reappearing briefly in Inazuma, and then popped up again in Fontaine. Sure, you can argue that back then, all the models were still pretty bad, so he kind of blended in and it wasn't too noticeable. But then
nah, not by Fontaine. Like you could safely say, like, New Valette's model is like, it's so much better than Child's, it's fucking crazy.
He came back in Not Cry, which is fairly recent, but he was still surrounded by NPCs who have looked the exact same way for years. So even recently, most people wouldn't notice the quality downgrade when he was on screen. In the Snezhnaya story arc livestream though,
Wuwa secretly updates textures of old characters all the time. I mean, people even talked about how Rover got their textures remodeled for Mangzhou. I think we can, like, zoom in on it now. Yeah, no, they went, like, they did some extra crazy stuff. Like you see over here? You see how you can, like, actually see, like, squiggles in here? You can see, like, the little, like, patterns in here, right? And, like, the lighting causes the patterns to become, like, not visible. And now you see, like, the leather. That was not in the game in 1.0. Like, you see, like, the visual and the stuff like that? Like, the textures? Yeah, not in 1.0. And they fixed the hair, too. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I don't really need it.
It's undeniable. They are putting him side by side with newer characters in an environment where everyone else looks better. He is literally an isekai character, not even the canon.
Yeah, Kuro knew that Rover was going to be in the Mangzhou cutscenes, and so and this is the thing. Do you think it's harder to make Wuwa textures or Genshin textures? Which one do you think is harder to do? Make textures for Genshin or make textures for Wuwa? When you know that one is way more high def, high polygon than the other. It's harder to make them in Wuwa. So it's like the lack of effort being done by Hoyo is even more apparent now, isn't it?
Technically, isekai character, the Traveler, looks that outdated. The Traveler got skins in Luna 4, and there are multiple videos out there showing how they have improved their models. Meanwhile, Child still has that stock character model from 6 years ago, standing right next to everyone else in the big leagues. Holy shit, he looks so bad in comparison. In the trailers, he looks just as good at everyone else because it's 2D, but in game, he looks horrible. Please put in some effort, Hoyoverse. It couldn't be that hard. They literally made an...
It's funny that he put up Columbina's kit when he said, Hoyoverse, please put in more effort, because Columbina's kit is the opposite of them putting in fucking effort, bro.
Aura effects for him, but they couldn't upgrade his model. They coded an entirely new visual effects for him without giving him updated textures or anything. That is straight up rage bait, bro. They have to be rage baiting right now. But bad character models aside, let's talk about one of the good ones. And it's one of the characters coming next patch, Odette. She has this whole...
He thinks she's good. I thought she was just like, they just made a smaller version of Eula. That is the only vibe. They just made Eula, but smaller. She's also like super conduct.
Full ballerina aesthetic, and the moments I saw her, I genuinely liked her design. She is elegant in every way possible, so much so that she wears heels when she fights. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty immersion breaking. She looks amazing, don't get me wrong, but like, who actually does that? You know what I'm saying? What? I have seen the debates online with people arguing, why is she doing ballet and heels? Followed with replies like, well, it'll look awkward if she wore point shoes when she is just roaming around the world and not dancing.
Doing ballet in high heels is kind of like illegal, isn't it? Yeah, like, isn't the whole point of ballet like that you have like fucked up feet?
Parts is when people pull out the "trust me, I'm a ballet dancer" card. Like, oh my god, this guy is valid. But I have legitimately yet to see anyone make the actual criticism I'm about to make. And it's starting to infuriate me. There is no way nobody thought of this. People are defending the devs, acting like it'd be awkward if Odette wore point shoes while she's not dancing. But listen, you are applying to a completely different issue. Have you ever seen anyone pirouette in high heels?
Ballet with heels is historically accurate. The slippers came later.
Is that a normal thing? They even added a mini game for her idol animation where you get to endlessly pirouettes in heels. Like, hello? Nobody is arguing that Odette should walk around in the open world in point shoes. Who even made that argument? I'm completely fine with Odette walking around the world in heels. Like, yay, Sister Soleil. She looks amazing. But I'm just asking, was it really impossible to swap her heels into point shoes when she actually dances, when she is in combat?
I guess this is the thing. Personally, this is a situation where I would say the juice is not really worth the squeeze to me here. In that, like, I personally don't give a fuck, but I could totally see how people that are like purists would be like, okay, this is just kind of retarded. It's like borderline nitpicking, but I could also see how, like, it feels like there was like a little bit of extra effort Hoyo could have put in to make something seem a lot better. Yuno takes her shoes off when she goes in the air. Okay, let me see that. If you're correct about that, then Glaive's complaint is valid. Yeah, if you're correct about that, Glaive's complaint is valid. Let's test it out real quick. Okay, so let me just scientific research. Okay, her shoes are on. Okay, now let's do this. Okay, they're still on. Oh no, oh, they're off now. Oh no, her shoes are off. Her shoes are off. Yeah, so you know what? I think his complaint might be valid. Yeah, if you know can adhere to Moon Priestess guidelines and have her shoes disappear, surely Odette could have her heels disappear, right? Yeah, no, I think this is just what they could have put in more effort into their characters, just like they could put in just a fraction of the percent of the effort Wuthering Waves does in its character designs and animations. I think that's the real complaint over here. And I think if Glaive showed other examples of other games doing those little touches to give their characters extra depth in life, it would give more credence to like this, because this kind of just comes off as him like yelling at clouds and nitpicking a little bit. But if I were to see this example in here, right, of like, you know, nice little zoom in of those, hey, I think she even does it in her ult. Oh yeah, bro, it disappears during her ult. Oh, her shoe literally disappears in the middle of her ult. It dematerializes. You know what? Yeah, I mean, that's fair, isn't it? That's, when you see that, this complaint becomes a lot more valid, doesn't it? Look at me saving Glaive's videos for him.
That's too hard to code. It's
Soy does the same thing. It's good that you know that.
not like I'm asking for too much here either. I'm asking for change. I'm begging for crumbs. This is the least you could do. Why? Because this has been implemented in the game before. Look at a character like Game.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Okay, there we go. Now he's got examples from Genshin. I've already shown you the ones from Hua.
When he ults, he has a flaming hoodie, a whole new outfit for him. Skirk has 2 different fucking outfits and multiple weapon animations. Mid-combat outfit
Yeah, they both kind of look like shit.
changes in Genshin are not a new thing. They can change the music to combat music, but they can't make Odette change shoes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed.
Let's be realistic here. Skirk is probably one of the last units they actually put effort in terms of like a kit. I think they saw that Skirk didn't break like any records with the amount of work that they put in, and so they just been kind of like phoning it in ever since her release. Truly, that is the vibe that I'm getting. Like they went above 11 for her kit Genshin wise, and then they were like, it was not worth the expenditure.
Realistically, most people probably don't care, but I expect the game that has very deep lore would at least care about some surface level understanding of the character they are creating. But maybe Odette is just a goat at ballet, you know? They can make up some lore about it. Oh, why is she pirouetting in heels? They're gonna make up some lore about it. She's a prodigy or something, who knows? And then they're gonna be like, oh, Glaive, it's lore reasons. I can't.
Yeah, just like how there are lower reasons for DJ boards and booty shorts and motorcycles and latex gimp suits in that land. Because, like, the dragons did that shit. Yeah, the dragons made super high heels, too.
Wait for that to happen. Onto
the dragons also made spaceships that you went on in the last patch.
The Traveler gets a new cryo element, and they are able to deploy the setup needed for Stellar Conduct. Pretty exciting. And before this, Stellar Conduct was exclusive to Sandrone, but now it's officially free-to-play friendly. You no longer need Sandrone for Stellar Conduct. You can just use the Traveler. Will they actually be useful in the endgame?
No, bro. They're gonna suck dick unless you have Odette and Sandrone on their team. Like it's truly not. It's like do you really think they're gonna be good without them?
I'm genuinely hopeful. We will need to wait until the theory crafting comes out.
Bro, at most, they're gonna be Dendro Traveler, who just immediately got binned the second the Hida came out. Dendro Traveler was good for like 1 patch.
But I'm pretty optimistic. Other than that, we are also getting a free weapon, and thank God, it is actually custom made for the Traveler. It works with every single element they resonate with. It's a pretty good stat stick, like a crit substats, very amazing. And the best part yet, it looks great on the Traveler. They finally upgraded from the Dull Blade. About fucking time, am I right?
I heard this thing is level locked. I heard this thing can only be used on Traveler. Who knows?
Would have been amazing if we got it early on in the game, because I remember back when I used Electro Traveler for energy funneling. Man, those were the simpler times. It got me reminiscing for a bit there, but I'm very happy about this weapon. It also opens up the possibility of the Traveler being able to wield all elements dynamically in game at once. Canonically, they can do that, right? But in actual gameplay,
I heard it's level locked behind the story, and like it's stuck at level 70 or some shit when 7.0 launches.
Couldn't do that. Maybe there's a chance we finally get that feature after Snezhnaya. That would be awesome, you know? I'll touch on this in a separate video because I see a lot of potential.
It's Statue of the Seven locked. Oh.
here, and I'm not gonna lie, it's got me pretty excited. You can max it out just by going through the story and resonating with the statues of the seven throughout the new region, which is awesome. Hopefully though, it's not locked behind collecting the Oculuses for Snezhnaya. It probably is, but hopefully not, right? Now, to address the elephant in the room, the guns. Specifically, the whole gunplay game mode they are adding next patch. I am genuinely not sure what they were thinking adding this game mode. It's like, let's make the game even more convoluted with features that 99% of the player base won't touch after a few updates, and I'm not.
This is kind of like how I know this game is just... it's falling off. Who asked for this? Why is it here? And, like, what is the future of this? And I don't think anyone can really comfortably answer any of those questions.
Even hating. Again, I'm not hating. Look at things like the Serenity Pots, Genshin TCG, or Meliastra Wonderland. Yeah, that game mode is already dead. I saw on Twitter, and not even Ziox could defend that game mode. And this gun mode is going to be the next one. At first glance, my first impression, as an FPS player myself, immortal in Valorant, by the way,
This is why this guy's like this. This is how he turned gay, by the way. Don't let... like, unless you're down for that, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't think I would let my kids play Valorant.
No, I'm a loser.
Ew, you're stinky! Why? Why are you stinky?
I could immediately tell the insanely heavy aim assist on the gunplay. They called it verbatim micro aim assist and target snapping. But just looking at the gameplay, it legitimately snaps onto the next target like an aimbot. This won't even be a challenging type of game. It looks extremely dumbed down, even when played on the phone. And yes, I play mobile FPS games too. This
Damn, there's something wrong with this dude.
is going to be the most handheld game mode ever. The funny thing is, or maybe this isn't funny to some of you, is that these devs are genuinely taking this gun mode completely seriously. There are elemental reactions built into the shooter game, and there are 3 different types of firearms to choose from. And apparently, they're also planning to add more to this later on. So they really want you to play this every patch at least once.
Man. Another game mode like the TCG, except now it's an FPS.
I mean, I'm not necessarily complaining. I mean, it's more things to do, is still things to do, am I right? And if it's...
it looks like bad Fortnite. It looks like bad Warframe. It looks like just bad versions of every other thing that you've already had before. And I think that's the part that really makes Genshin not stand out when it comes to these game modes. They all just feel like worse versions of existing things.
FPS, fuck it, why not? Send it over here. Give me the Primo Gems. This, however, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Genshin is more than capable of coding complex mechanics. I don't want to hear anyone defending this game anymore from criticism of bad character models or the lack of quality of life updates, or rather lack thereof. Why? Because there are more
They're trying to capitalize off a Duet Night Abyss, boys.
than capable of coding the things that we want. They just actively choose not to. The artifact loadout system that seriously needs a rework. The skip button that is not really skipping anything.
They added a whole FPS game instead of artifact loadouts. They added a whole fucking FPS game instead of artifact loadouts, bro. It's like, dude, this artifact loadouts, they kind of feel like the rights to Spider-Man. So basically, like, Sony and, like, Marvel have, like, a deal, right? Where, like, Sony needs to make Spider-Man movies, or else after, like, a certain amount of time where they don't make one, the rights return to Marvel for that superhero. And, like, right now, it feels like artifact loadouts are, like, the rights that are gonna get returned to players. And, like, for Genshin to not return them, they need to add some bullshit to the game. That is, like, the stipulation for artifact loadouts not to get returned to players. It's add some bullshit to the game. And it's like, first it was Invocation TCG, then it was Meliastra Wonderland, now it's this fucking shit, bro. They will do anything except add quality of life the game has needed since day one.
Put the fries in the bag, bro, okay? Which also brings me to the next section. Quality of life, or...
Oh, and the fucking Serenity Pot, bro. The fucking Serenity Pot. They added that shit as well.
or lack thereof. Because yes, you heard it right. There is 0 quality of life updates
I think that's the part that really should be throwing off people the most. How is there 0?
in 7.0. And I'm not saying Genshin never changes, because it obviously has, but sometimes it just flat out won't. It won't change for whatever stubborn reason. And I find this really surprising. Back in the live stream where they introduced Natlin in 5.0, even though it showed off a total Disneyland aesthetic for the region of war, they delivered hella good quality of life updates. Like the
I think this is the thing. They felt very stiff competition from Wuthering Waves. And the thing is that maybe they don't feel as much competition anymore, or maybe they feel like the hype of Snezhnaya is enough. And I think 7.1 is really going to be a nice little interesting wake-up call to that situation, right? Is the hype of Snezhnaya, was that enough, or is it not?
Epitomized path reduction, specialty tracking, world level 9, all absolute bangers. Same thing happened in Not Cry. We got the substat preview, which is an ultra banger, and even if the rest was kinda mid, it was still very welcome. And you're telling me for Snezhnaya, we are getting nothing? You're saying this big massive updates has 0 quality of life improvements. Did you think the game was just perfect now? No room for improvements at all. Not even.
I mean, to be realistically fair, those wouldn't be top of mind fixes, the ones that were in Natland and the ones that were in Nod Cry. Those wouldn't be like top of mind fixes, I feel like, for anyone of like what needs to be prioritized, but at least they're actually somewhat helpful.
Fixing calendar gated domains, you still think that's a good thing? Epitomized path points, still not carrying over to the next banner. And as for the skip button,
Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed.
you might need to rework that in the future patches, because what you gave us is not the thing.
The last 2 years, 5.0 and 6.0 were anniversary patches. Hey, Genshin players, let's stop normalizing only fixing the game during anniversaries. Yeah, how about we stop doing that? How about we stop trying to give Hoyoverse every single excuse possible for why they're not fixing the game? It's a 7.0 update. I don't give a fuck if it's the anniversary or not. Fix the fucking game.
We have been asking for 4 years. Genuinely, do these devs just not play their own game? Oh wait, hold on, my bad. I think it's misinformation. There are quality of life updates in Snezhnaya. Look at this. The maximum number of map pins has been updated to 350. Yay! All right, who asked for this? Who?
Bro, if you non-sarcastically using map pins and you somehow had more than like a couple hundred of them, bro, you are not a fucking cartographer. You are not Indiana Jones, bro. Like, just fucking, what are you doing?
Wanted this. Are we being serious? But anyways, we talked about the elephants in the room. Let's talk about the mammoth in the room. Snezhnaya, a land of extreme cold, a technologically advanced nation ruled by the Cryo-Archon, the Tsaritsa, the main headquarters for the ultimate big bads of the game, the Fatui, a group that has had a hand in almost every bad thing that has happened in this story so far.
Is this gonna be the biggest crash out part of the video? I hope this part is.
Are known for a philosophy where the ends justify the means, where even when lives are taken away, the
Because he's only using cutscenes and materials from like fucking 4 years ago. Like, bro, all this shit up here, it was like 4 years ago.
price is always worth it for a chance to rebel against the divine. The entirety of Genshin has been hyping this place up for years.
Sorry, what was this? What game is this? What game is this even from? What's the context of this one?
Against the divine. The entirety of
Ultra Kill? Okay. I haven't played that one before.
Genshin has been hyping this place up for years as a cold, ruthless environment, both physically and mentally. And although we get to see the cold with tons of snow and blizzards and experience freezing mechanics in the game, I just don't get that menacing atmosphere at all. It's just not there. Because imagine my reaction when, verbatim, on stream, they said the theme is the fusion of a winter fairy tale and cold heavy industry, a waltz of romance and brutality. That sounds epic as fuck. So tell me why, literally, one frame after.
Why is he singing like a Backstreet Boy? What the fuck was that? He kind of hit that one though. Wait, he kind of hit that one though.
Old heavy industry, a waltz of romance and brutality. That sounds epic as fuck. So tell me why, literally.
Yeah, I thought initially like his voice cracked, but no, he just hit it.
One frame after saying that, while giving us the tour, the very first place they show us is a village of igloos decorated with super cute monsters and ice cream cones. What the fuck is brutal about this? Where is the brutality you just spoke of? In fact, there isn't a single ounce of brutality in this entire live stream. Maybe a tiny bit at the beginning for the trailer, but that was literally a few seconds out of an entire hour. Where is the dark atmosphere? It just feels like Natlan all over again. And I know there are a lot of Natlan.
This is like finding out Sauron's actually just like a chill-ass dude. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, all those times I like killed like all your families, that was just a misunderstanding. Sorry about that.
And defenders lining up to say, yeah, it's the nation of war, but the war is already over. Yes, I get it. There are a lot of lore reasons why the nation of Disneyland is the way that it is. But for Snezhnaya, what the fuck is the excuse for all of this? Don't tell me there are lore reasons for this too. It's...
Well, the Fatui Harbingers all turned out to be good guys. Except for, like, one of them, so...
too immersion breaking. Honestly, it's immersion destroying. There is a trailer shown in the live stream summarizing the things that we could do in the new region, where the music is so upbeat and the mini games are all about rolling snowballs, cooking and petting cute monsters, and making cute statues. It's literally, let's have a happy fun time in Snezhnaya. Yippee! If Natlan was Disneyland, Snezhnaya is like Universal Studios.
Now that I think about it, yeah, Fontaine had only like the Melusines, but like low-key the Fontaine situation seemed a bit more serious. Like there were people dying and shit in like court and like law and stuff. Yeah, it's like Hello Kitty online
7.0 version events. The doll makeovers, driving the train, looking
I like friendly companion
around, collecting Jack Frost goodies, like Chi-Chi getting a fucking ice cream claymore. Like, it feels more like a Golden Apple Archipelago summer event than a dark high-stakes Snezhnaya expansion. I am just so utterly confused. It's not even funny. The absolute best of the whole live stream, though, came near the end. It was so...
I think this is one of the only things we need to see. One section of Nouvelette's demo from like fucking 2 years ago is more dark than anything I saw in that live stream. Just listen to this.
Way is it all clean?
The court is always filled with a cacophony of voices. Passion, schadenfreude, indignation, terror. Emotions burst forth from the depths of the heart and surround their host like a dense fog.
This seems like more Snezhnaya than anything I saw in the live stream. Isn't that fair? All right, you got all this gay shit over here where he's like doing all his gay ass moves. We're gonna skip that.
Don't you see? I had no time to administer the poison.
You got everything ready before the lights ever went out.
But I was best friends with the victim. Except you secretly hated each other after what happened 5 hours ago. Run to the core.
Like, this seems more... How's Fontaine seem more like Snezhnaya than Snezhnaya? How does this seem more like Snezhnaya than Snezhnaya? Fontaine was dark in general. That quest had that serial killer dissolving girls into the primordial sea. Oh, that's actually true too. That was like the main story
let
quest.
Justice run down like water. Water is both the origin and the denouement.
This was the peak of Genshin. And then it went downhill after
Somewhere
this.
between the raucous spectacle of the court and the cold rationality of the legal code, something has gone awry.
It just fell off completely.
You who were born with original sin, go forth and search for the long-buried truth.
Oh, I forgot. The overarching lore of this region is that they're all, like, basically, like, aliens or some shit. Yeah, they're, like, descended from, like, fucking elementals or something, and so they're all, like, born with, like, a curse or some shit like that. I forgot. Yeah, they're descendants of, like, Oceanids, and, like, yeah, so they're, like, yeah.
Was lost beneath the waves.
And that's why they're all, like, supposed to die or, like, I don't know. It's, like...
To judge the future.
Okay, all right. Now they're just fighting again. Anyways, yeah, that song is pretty good, too. That, to me, has darker vibes than the entire 7.0 thing that we saw.
good that I was about to redeem the entire live stream where they showed the orchestra. I was completely blown away, man. I have literally no other words to describe it. It was fantastic. It felt like I was levitating. It was so good that if you asked me to choose between listening to the Genshin Impact Orchestra or having sex, I'm choosing to listen to the orchestra performance again. I'm not even joking. It was that good. But the
That might be one of the craziest things I've heard somebody say before.
fact that it was so good, it is also why it made me so mad. Because why? It feels like these guys are composing for an entirely different game. And I'm not saying they should compose for other games. I'm saying that this current version of Genshin does not resemble that kind of music. The lyrics have actual lore in them, emotionally showing how it's stumping and marching towards its goal.
I think this guy's like an audiophile.
To Saritsa. And I'm so mad because it feels like this soundtrack is what Genshin should have been. Instead, we got fucking Disneyland with snowman, igloos, and cute monsters. Where the fuck did that Genshin go? At the end of the day, my feelings for version 7.0 is the definition of unfiltered confusion. On one hand, we are getting good-looking new models, a banger free signature weapon for the main character, and an orchestra performance that genuinely gave me goosebumps. But
I feel like he's just mad over the music, bro.
on the other hand, Tartaglia is still out here looking like an absolute meme. We are getting a baby version FPS game nobody asked for, and Snezhnaya feels like a carnival than the cold, ruthless nation of the Fatui we were promised. Hoyoverse clearly has the skill and the budget. They just make the most baffling decisions with it. But I want to hear more from you guys.
It might be because of this. They might be simply looking for like a lower scope, lower bar, like more baby level, immature, teenage kind of like storytelling, because that's their current audience right now. I feel like Genshin doesn't have that many like older players nowadays, truly, genuinely. Like it is simply, it gives off the vibes of like more of like an immature sort of game. And so maybe their storytelling and like the maturity and all of it, they're just like, that's why bro, check this out. Like, what is this other than, like, a fucking appeal to, like... Bro, they literally had, like, a fucking sleepover, bro. Bro, like, the four Fatui Harbingers are just having, like, a fucking sleepover, bro. Like, what is this supposed to be other than just, like, appealing to, like teenage girls and shit like that, bro? Yes, and I know some people are like, oh, that's cute. Okay, yes, okay, great. Thanks for telling everybody you're a girl in my chat. What an intelligent decision. Or you're gay. One of the two. Yes, this is made to appeal to girls, and like teenage girls specifically.
What are your thoughts on 7.0? Are you hyped for the new characters, or are
and gays?
you as disappointed as I am with the lack of quality of life and the happy fun time Snezhnaya vibe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. This is Glaive and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.
All right. Interesting video from Glaive. I think, like, initially, some of the complaints did feel like they were getting a little bit nitpicky, but I think when you factor in that it's stuff that Genshin has done before, other game devs have done before, etc., it's another matter of combining it with a no quality of life. They're taking their foot off the gas pedal during a time where they definitely shouldn't be, and it does feel like, at least compared to previous years, they're putting in less effort compared to before. Because there were more quality of life before. There were better, you know, like respect when it comes to the character design before. And this is also coming off the back of Sandrone, Varka, and Columbina all having some dog shit animations. All having like some dog shit kits that like don't look good, that like people are always complaining about, right? They don't like some of like the main push units that have been coming out for the game. And it's kind of obvious why somebody wouldn't like them. They look like they're being worked out with half the effort than they were a year ago. And I can safely say, it feels like since Nod Cry, this game has been in some of the most severe milking I've ever seen. And 7.0, with its lack of quality of life, goofy-ass, random-ass new mini-games like the shooting one, it just feels more and more like that. And I think the reality over here is that I just feel like there's a lot of people that maybe don't play the game near or close to the same level as they used to before, and it's lost a lot of like its older player base, and that's why they're going for the young ones. Bro, I feel like half the people don't even remember who the Fatui Harbingers are, so they can just retcon the lore like this. I think this is just a sign that the original player base ain't here anymore. Yeah, it's just, and anyone that would have complained about it is already gone. Bro, this looks like some slice of life anime shit. Which is probably the point, but like, is that really when you want your villains or who were teased to be villains? Bro, didn't this bitch over here like fucking kick the shit out of... Bro, didn't this bitch, like, beat Venti up? Like, your boyfriend in 1.0? Like, you already know what I'm talking about. I think Genshin 7.0 is really just... Like, this is how I know Genshin 7.0 is, like, actually a very, like, complicated thing across the player base. Because I uploaded this video and it doesn't even have, like, it barely has dislikes. This one barely has dislikes. And so, like, usually I'll just farm those, right? On any vid where I say anything bad about any Hoyoverse game. There's just nothing going on over here. I think a lot of people actually think it's bad, too. I get less dislikes here than I do on ZZZ videos. It is what it is. Let me know what you all thought about this one. Of course, great video from Glaive. Peace out.